What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to All We Do Is Talk podcast. We're here with a Week 5 preview. We got a London game, and we got some exciting matchups this week. I'm here with Isaiah and Moody. How we doing?
There's nothing exciting about that London game. There's some exciting matchup this week, but not London.
They're going across the pond.
To see Matt Ryan versus Zach Wilson.
Matt Ryan versus upgraded Matt Ryan. That's what Zach Wilson kind of played. He has a bigger arm, Matt Ryan, more athletic. Yeah, we'll see.
But overall, doing well, Eric. Doing well.
Yeah. So let's start with that London game since it's a 9:30 a.m. start. We got the Jets and the Falcons crossing over the pond, the Atlantic Ocean. I see right here Atlanta's -3 against the Jets. And
for the second straight. Go ahead, Eric.
The over-under is 45.5.
For the second straight week, I'm going to pick the New York Jets to cover. We just found out earlier today that Calvin Ridley has been ruled out for personal reasons. He won't be making the trip. Their number 2 receiver, Russell Gage, has also been ruled out with an ankle injury, not to mention the struggles that the Falcons have already gone through this season. They took a bad loss to Taylor Heineke and the Washington football team after being in control for most of the game. I expect the Falcons to still be able to find ways to move the ball. You have to think that this is the week Kyle Pitts finally has his breakout. I'm expecting 8 for 100 plus at least. I mean, at this point, they have to force feed him the ball. If they don't, then it's just a disaster of a pick probably at this point. But the Jets defense has shown it can get after the quarterback. The Falcons offensive line isn't that good. So if the Jets defense can do a good enough job putting pressure on Matt Ryan, and they don't really have a receiving core to threaten their bad secondary, I think Zach Wilson could put enough points on that Atlanta offense to win the game. So I'll take the Jets +3, and I'll take the under. I expect this to be pretty ugly.
I don't know what to expect from this game. Atlanta, we just found out today that Calvin Ridley's out, and you said Russell Gage is also out. So Atlanta's down a couple weapons. They still got Mike Davis, still got Cordell Patterson coming off a couple big weeks. Jets defense is actually kind of sneaky underrated. We saw that both of the Williams kids in the middle had sacks. First pair of brothers have sacks. So I also agree that it'll be a low-scoring affair and a pretty sloppy game because we always know these London early morning games usually are sloppy. But, hey, we'll get to wake up to football. But I'll take Matt Ryan because I just think he's the better quarterback. So I'll take the veteran quarterback. And he has experience playing. I'm pretty sure he has experience playing in these type of situations, in these type of games. So over the rookie, now 2 rookie head coaches. So I think Matt Ryan's experience will be helpful for that. So I'll take Atlanta 21-17. So I'll take Atlanta -3, and I'll take the under.
I'm with Moody on this one. I'm going to take the Jets +3. With Calvin Ridley out, I think that's a huge loss for them. And
huge.
Out. So they're less lethal on offense, and the Jets are their better side of the ball is defense to me. So
defensive head coach.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Jets +3 and the under as well. All right, so moving on, we'll go down to Carolina where the Philadelphia Eagles are taking a visit. Panthers -3, over under 45.
Well, this is probably going to be one of the rougher games of the 1 o'clock slate because I think it's pretty one-sided in my opinion, even with the injuries that Carolina have sustained. I think Philadelphia has some good offensive moments to make this game look kind of competitive. I think we'll see decent offense, but probably a lot of good defensive play. So, because I think Carolina will be pretty stout. So I think I will take Carolina -3 because I've got Carolina winning 24-17. I think the Eagles tack on their patented garbage time touchdown, and that will also be the under.
Yeah, I agree. I think Carolina handles Philadelphia pretty comfortably here. Jalen Hurts has made a living off of garbage time and bad defenses, and I don't think he'll have the opportunity for either in this game. And the Panthers defense is going to be aggressive the whole time. And I just don't know if the Eagles have enough answers on offense. On the other end, I expect Christian McCaffrey to play at this point. I'm going to assume that he'll be out there on Sunday. And if that's the case, I think that makes it even more of a mismatch for the Panthers at home. So I'll take the Panthers -3, and I'll take the under. The Panthers were going to smother Jalen Hurts on offense.
Yeah, I'm obviously going to go with the Panthers in this game, but I will take the over of 45. I was impressed with Philly's offense last week, even though it was against the garbage Chiefs defense. But I think they'll put up enough to hit this over of 45. Moving on, we'll go to Pittsburgh, where they're hosting the Denver Broncos. The Steelers are favored by 1, and the over/under is 39.5.
Yeah.
Even worse is there's another game with the same over under this week.
I think this really depends on if Teddy Bridgewater plays, because I think if Teddy Bridgewater plays, I think the Broncos will win this game pretty comfortably. The Broncos have a really good defense. They have a really good pass rush. They're really good in the secondary. I don't really know how I expect the Pittsburgh to move the ball really at all. But the only way they'll be able to make any plays is by getting turnovers on the other end. And they can pull that off if Drew Lock's at quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater's at quarterback. He'll be a little bit more safer and efficient with the ball. Pittsburgh secondary has not been very good going up against a talented receiver group despite the injuries that they've gone through. So I'll take the Denver Broncos plus 1.5 at Pittsburgh. This is going to be pretty ugly football, but 39.5 is really low. I'll take the over ever so slightly.
Who did you take? Denver?
Denver.
Well, I'll just go with my pick. I think if Drew Lock's in the game, there's no way that Denver.
Yeah, if Drew Lock's, I'm assuming Bridgewater's playing. He returned to practice, but if not, I'd obviously change my pick.
But I'm still going to go Pittsburgh on this one. I as well will take the over. I am not taking under on a 39.5 point game. So yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh and the over.
I agree. You're gonna take Pittsburgh, Eric?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Denver 17-7. And I think they'll win either if they have Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater. I think Ben Roethlisberger will be pretty.
He doesn't really perform well against Denver, and that's a historical thing.
And I'll take the under. I could see, 17-7 Denver, and I believe Drew Lock can get the job done, or Teddy Bridgewater. I just think their defense was really the key. And maybe Pittsburgh, they're going to need to force a turn to win this game, but I don't really know how Ben's going to be looking against that defense, especially if Claypool is still a little nicked up. But that's anything else about that one?
Nah, just more ugly AFC football.
All right, so let's move on. We got a battle for Florida with the Miami Dolphins taking a trip to Tampa Bay to visit the Buccaneers. Bucks are -10, and the over/under is 48.
This is – I don't know what to think of Miami. The part of me wants to be like their secondary is really, really good. The Bucks can't really run the ball. But then I just go back to Jacoby Brissett starting at quarterback, and I don't think he can take advantage of the Bucks defense in any way, shape, or form, despite the injuries that they are going through. And I expect Tom Brady to have enough offensive success for them to cover this spread. Even though, in my head says Miami can hang in it, but Miami had a real disappointing game last week against Indianapolis. That's kind of clouding my judgment right now. So I'll take the Bucks -10. And I'll take the over.
I agree with you that I believe Tampa Bay's team is just enough better, mainly because their offense is led by Tom Brady, while we're probably going to be seeing Jacoby Brissett for sure, and that Miami hasn't been able to win in the trenches at all. So I think Tampa Bay will cover. They'll probably get another game where they have hold the team to negative rushing yards, get a bunch of sacks. I'll take Tampa Bay 28-17, which means I will go with the under. Though.
I'm on pace with Moody. I'm going to take the Bucks and the over. I just can't bet against Tom Brady. I don't know what it is. I don't care what the spread
is. It's hard. If you spent the last 20 years betting on Tom Brady, you've made some good money.
Hey, I got a good lock of the week betting against Tom Brady once this season already, though.
But let's keep moving on the 1 o'clock slate. We got an ugly NFC North matchup. Detroit heading to Minnesota. Vikings -10 in this game. Over under 49.5.
Detroit's another one of those teams that And they look like, hey, we can hang in games sometimes. We could be the backdoor cover kings. And then they had a chance against a rookie quarterback to like find their way into falling into a win, and they got smoked. So I don't really know what to think about Detroit at this moment. They just lost, but they sold us out. Taylor Decker's out. Frank Ragnow's out. So that's a significant portion of their offensive line going up against a pretty formidable Minnesota Vikings front. So I really don't see how Detroit hangs in this game, especially with what Minnesota's putting out on offense. So I'll take Minnesota minus 9.5, and I'll take the over.
I agree that Minnesota will probably win this game controllingly, but I can't bet against the cover gods in the Detroit line. So I'm going to take them to cover in a game 28-20, which is still the under. But I think we'll probably get Minnesota jumping out to an early lead and Detroit getting some garbage time. It's what they do.
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit and the cover gods. I'll take the under as well. Is it 49.5 still?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Detroit and the under. All right, so let's keep moving on. Green Bay is taking a visit to Cincinnati. Packers -3, over under 50. I'll go first. This is my lock of the week. Green Bay -3. I don't know that I think Vegas has too much belief in Cincinnati to have it at only -3 against Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if the Bengals have ruined my lock once this year, so they might do it again, but I don't believe so. And I'll take the over of 50.
You want to go next?
Yeah, go next. I'm sorry, Eric, to have to go against your lock of the week already, but I think Green Bay is due for a letdown. The rumor is out there that Jari Alexander might be missing this game, but it's hard to play in Cincinnati. They have a pretty decent home field advantage. I'm not gonna lie. It's the jungle up in there is what they call it. So I'm gonna take Cincinnati handily. I'll take Cincinnati. I'm gonna go on a limb. 35-21. Because usually when Green Bay lose, they get handled. So I'll take Cincinnati to cover. It sounds boisterous, but I just don't think Green Bay has enough in their secondary to cover all those weapons. And T. Higgins might be finally back. And now we saw how good the tight end looked last week, how good Jamar Chase has been, how good Boyd is in the slot. I think Cincinnati's getting things going there, and their offensive line's been protecting. And Green Bay's got Zadarius Smith out, so they're going to be hard for another pass rush, and they're still missing Bakhtiari. So Green Bay's they're just missing the last few bit of reinforcements, but they'll be okay probably because they have Aaron Rodgers.
I just can't trust Cincinnati over Aaron Rodgers. That's really what it comes down to. Even though I think if they played this game under these scenarios 10 times, Green Bay would win 6, Cincinnati would win 4. That's like, but in this scenario here, I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers on the road to find a way to be the better quarterback and to just be the person that they can't overcome. So I'll take Green Bay -3 on the road at Cincinnati. I think this will be a really, really fun, high-scoring affair. And in those situations, I think somehow, some way, Green Bay will find the ball last with a chance to win the game by at least 3 points. So I'll take Green Bay in the over.
I took the over as well. Yeah.
All right. So let's keep moving. Another ugly game. New England going down to Houston. New England -8.5, over under the other 39.5.
This is going to be like Davis Mills, welcome to the Bill Belichick show. If you thought you were seeing Ghost in Buffalo, you ain't seen nothing yet. So in that event, I think New England's going to win this game handedly, comfortably, it'll never be in doubt. I'll take New England -8.5. Bill Belichick's going to make Davis Mills' life a living hell. Welcome to the NFL for you. And I think Mac Jones, who's going to build on some confidence of what he did against Tom Brady in the biggest regular season game ever. And they'll carry that over to a dominant victory on the road in Houston. I'll take the Patriots -8.5. I'll take the under as well. I don't expect Houston to put 80 points on the board, honestly.
What's the over-under?
39.5.
It's a shame because I agree with you. I wish I don't ever use this as a team twice for my lock of the week. So Davis Mills, you don't get the Zach Wilson curse that it's gonna happen. But I'm sorry, Davis Mills. I think Houston's in for another week like they just had, and 35-0. New England blankets a rookie quarterback because Bill Belichick gets to play every rookie quarterback every year. So New England and going away handily. Get your alternate spreads in because you could pump this one up. New England's probably covering anything on Sunday. On back-to-back week shutouts for the Houston Texans, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to take New England. You can't bet against Bill Belichick and rookie quarterbacks. You just can't do it. And I'll take the under of this 39.5.
Mainly because they know that Houston might not score.
Yeah, that's the main reason.
They're going to go 2 straight games without scoring points.
Just like Miami a couple years ago.
All right, so let's move on. New Orleans and Jameis Winston are going to D.C. or Maryland to face on the Washington football team. Saints minus 2.5, over under 43.5.
I don't know what to think of New Orleans. Like, they go and throttle Aaron Rodgers in week 1. Then they lay an egg against the Carolina Panthers in week 2, who maybe the Panthers are good, maybe they're not, we'll see. Then they go to New England and just dominate Bill Belichick in his house. They make Mac Jones' life a living hell. They run all over him. And then against a winless Giants team, they took an 11-point lead with 10 minutes left in the game because I think some poor coaching along with the inability to have the skilled players to go finish a football team. So with that being said, the Washington football team is coming off a really tough win on the road at Atlanta, even though we don't – God damn it. Sorry, Darrell Henderson scored on my fantasy team. I don't love to see that. But Washington football team is coming off of a really solid win against the Atlanta Falcons. I know we don't think highly of them, but with Taylor Heineke, any Washington football team win they can get is a good win for them. At home, I'm surprised that they're the underdogs here on a New Orleans team that has not been consistent. So I'll take Washington football team plus 2.5 at home. I think with Teron Armstead being hurt and the myriad of injuries they have at their skill positions, that maybe this could be the get-right game for their defense. And I expect Taylor Heineke to be able to make enough plays at home to get Washington football team over the top. I'll take Washington football team plus 2.5, and I will take the over.
I completely agree. I just don't know what to make of New Orleans, and I'm still high on Washington football team. I think their offense is really carrying the load right now, but I think their defense will start picking it up. But hey, that defensive line is going to be matched up against a really good offensive line for the Saints. So that's going to be interesting to watch. It's a good matchup. But I also agree that I think Washington football team will take the edge. They're home, right? Yeah. And I'll take Washington easily to cover, actually, 28-21. So I will go with the over as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, the over and Washington football team. Yeah, I just don't think the Saints should be a favorite on the road against a defense like that. Hopefully they can respond a little bit more and show some of the dominance that they showed last year.
I don't know. I would like for their defense to look and see like it's looked like all year, Eric. That's only you. Speak for yourself.
I picked them to make the playoffs, so as long as we make the playoffs, I hope they get better.
All right, so let's move on to the Titans trying to redeem themselves against Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Titans are -4, over under 48.5.
There's no way you could pick Jacksonville right now with what's going on over there. It is a clown show. There's no way those players are focused. There's no way those players care about the guy who's supposed to be leading their football team. There's no way Urban Meyer can be completely focused after getting caught cheating on his wife in 4K. So yeah, picking Jacksonville is a disaster right now. I don't know why you put your money on it. I don't care who's hurt for Tennessee. I'll take Tennessee -4.5. And I'll take the over. Tennessee's defense isn't good, but Derrick Henry's gonna run for 200 yards. AJ Brown will make a couple explosive plays. Tennessee by a mile.
I mean, it's maybe the Jets were a dumpster fire just a couple weeks ago.
They weren't off the field dumpster fire.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter. There's no way I'm taking Jacksonville is easy wins for the AFC South teams. So I'm going to take Tennessee to cover 28-17, which means I'll go with the under. There's not much more to say that Tennessee's there's no way Tennessee thinks they have Super Bowl aspirations if they're going to lose or struggle with the Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars in back-to-back weeks. So they better get it together.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you can bet with Jacksonville. So, and it should honestly be about a touchdown spread to me.
I guess the injuries are so weird, but AJ Brown is supposed to be playing now.
When you told me AJ Brown practiced fully today, that's all I needed to know. Like that's the last piece they needed. Jacksonville's defense not going to be getting any stops with Derrick Henry anyway.
Yeah, and coming off a loss to the Jets, they're going to be fired up and wanting to show
Whoops some ass. Yep.
Let's move on to the 4:00 slate. I guess we'll start with the worst game of the 4:00. We'll go Chicago at Las Vegas. Spread minus 5.5, over under 44.5.
Well, this is it. Now, for the first time, even though it should have been always this way, Justin Fields running the show in Chicago. This is 100% his football team. They move forward with the future, I think, by force, but it doesn't matter either way. Chicago doesn't have a bad roster overall. I think the David Montgomery injury is significant, but they've got decent receiving weapons. Justin Fields can make guys miss and can create plays. He showed his ability to make touch throws down the field. The Vegas Raiders defense is not fantastic, so I think there's plays to be made in that secondary as well. But it's just as bad as it looked for the Raiders on Monday night, I am expecting a good bounce back from them. What was the line? 5.5 for the Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the Raiders to cover that minus 5.5. I think they're a better football team. I think Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue will be able to get after Justin Fields a little bit to hold him down. I don't expect a very pretty football game, but I think the Raiders will be able to take care of business. I'll take the Raiders minus 5.5, and I'll take the over as well.
I agree. I think this is actually my lock of the week. This is the most. This one is the one that I wasn't even scared about about Buffalo covering last week or about Tampa Bay losing to Las Vegas. But Los Angeles. But I am worried about this one. But I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna put a lock on the week that the Las Vegas Raiders get their second win against Khalil Mack, and John Gruden gets to show off that he knows how to waste 2 first-round picks. But he's a good coach. He'll get it done. Justin Fields will have a good showing, but I just think that both of these defenses aren't very great, and I just think Derek Carr's veteran experience is just going to outweigh Justin Fields' rookiness in the end. So I'll take Las Vegas 24-17.
I don't know why your lock is going out on a limb. Your confidence.
I believe this because it's hard to bet. It's really hard to bet on the Vegas
Isaiah doesn't
Raiders.
go out on a limb on his locks. We've seen it.
What you mean I picked
outside the LAR one? That's the only one you pick where the teams were even close to 50-50. And
I picked the cover. I picked the 17.5 point cover. I said that was a lot. That's gonna happen.
But I'm going Bears here. I think the Raiders are frauds. I don't know, man. They're just they end up going 8-8, or not 8-8 anymore, 9-8, 8-9, and those losses got to come somewhere. And I think the Bears are going to be able to at least keep it in that number. I think Khalil Mack will want to show some vengeance against the Raiders since he hasn't yet. So I'm going to take the Bears and the. I'll go over.
I can understand picking the Bears. It's hard to trust the Raiders, especially after how they looked on Monday night.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to make them a lot.
Yeah.
But I think John Gruden's going to want to prove the point that and not take and go 2-0 against Khalil Mack. That'd be really good for his case and keep him off the hot seat for that, wasting both of the draft picks he got for him.
All right.
So on to the next one.
On to the next one. We're going out to L.A., where the Chargers will be facing the Browns. Chargers -2, over under 47.
With the news we found out about Baker Mayfield today, I don't know how you can even think about picking Cleveland. Like, he's got a bum shoulder. It's clearly affected his overall accuracy throughout the games. And I know that the Chargers' run defense is suspect, and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are going to be on the other side. But if they're not scared of Baker Mayfield beating them over the top, I think that allows them to focus more on the running game like they did against the Vegas Raiders, and it allowed them to stuff that up better than they have all throughout the season. Justin Herbert's obviously playing at a high level. I expect Rashawn Slater to be able to handle his matchup. But Myles Garrett's going to spend a lot of time on Storm Norton, and they are going to have to account for that. I expect Rashawn Slater to be able to handle Connie just fine, but you have to send help for Mr. Storm Norton against Myles Garrett, or he will wreck the game plan for them. Overall, I don't think it's a great matchup for the Chargers, actually, but with the injury to Baker Mayfield, I think there's just such a massive QB advantage that it's hard not to take the Chargers at home. -2 is a really, really small line as well. And I'll take the over. I think we'll see some good – I think we'll see a lot of points in this one.
So you think you see a lot of points?
Yeah, I think Justin Herbert will be able to move the ball. I think the Browns will be able to run the ball. So.
I think we're gonna get another type of Browns game from last week. I got the Chargers to cover, but I think they'll win 20-13 because I do believe Myles Garrett is going to be a problem wherever he lines up. And it'll be interesting to see how Slater matches up with Myles Garrett, because if he's doing a good job against him, that's going to be going a long way for where he's going to be headed. But yeah, I'll take the Chargers to cover because I just think Justin Herbert, even if Baker Mayfield is healthy, I still think Justin Herbert is just better enough to get his team past that final point.
I'm going to go Browns. I know Baker is not the healthiest, but like Moody said, the Chargers run stoppage is questionable, and having Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb who can run on anyone, and that's what they rely on as it is. I think they can get it done. I wish the spread was just a hair bigger, but I'll take the 2 points. I think they might even win. And Myles Garrett, I think, is going to wreak havoc in this game. I think this is the true – is Slater left tackle for them?
Yeah.
I think this will be a real test for him to see where
it don't get harder than this. It ain't a harder matchup in the league.
So, yeah, we'll find out what he's really made of. But I'm going to go Browns and the over. So moving on, we're going to go to the NFC West, and the 49ers taking a visit to Arizona. Arizona's favorited by 4.5, over under 49.
I'm feeling let down here, actually. We know Kyler Murray has been riding super duper hot. They coming off the big win against the Rams that made a statement about how real they might be this year. Their pass rush has been really, really good. They've been solid in the secondary as well. But I like San Francisco here. I think Trey Lance and we'll see. Jimmy Garoppolo is doing his best to stay on the field. He just won't go away because he saw what happened to Andy Dalton, and he's trying to avoid the same fate. But I'm going to expect Trey Lance to make the start here, and I expect Trey Lance to put on a pretty good show against a defense that I think is a little bit fraudulent. And I think the Niners will be able to cover plus 4.5. I expect Nick Bosa and those guys to be able to get after Kyler Murray a little bit, make life a little bit more difficult. The Niners have been solid but not spectacular in their secondary, and I think they can hold up well enough for Trey Lance and Kyle Shanahan to be able to scheme up plays on their offense. I'll take the Niners plus 4.5, and I'll take the over.
I'm going to go the other way. I think we're going to get a good game, good scoring. I'm going to take Arizona 35. I'm going to take Arizona 35. 49ers 28. I think Trey Lance puts up some good numbers, puts on a good show, but I just don't see that secondary of the 49ers stopping those receivers of the Arizona Cardinals. So I just think that'll be the X factors, that they have better receivers and a deeper range of them. So it's tough, but yeah, I'll take Arizona minus 4.5 and the over.
I'm with Moody on this one again. I think this can be a letdown spot for Arizona after the dominant win over the Rams. I feel like that was kind of like their early season Super Bowl for them. So I'm going to take San Francisco plus, 4.5? Yeah. I think Trey Lance getting his first real start. We'll see what he's got. Yeah, so I like the 49ers here. And I'll take over 49. All right, so
you know what time it is. You know what time it is. You know what game we're moving on to. It's time for the main event. Except there's clearly a superior game on a Sunday, but this is going to be a good appetizer.
America's game of the week.
Yeah, so we got the Giants going down to Big D. Cowboys minus 6.5, over under 52.5.
Isaiah, you've been trying to convince me
You're
all
home.
week. Go
home
ahead.
Team first. Actually, no, you're right though. I'm trying to. I
Isaiah
have
been trying to
to
convince me all week, so let him go ahead and convince y'all.
I don't care what they're telling y'all out there. I do believe that this Cowboys offense is pretty good, and but I still believe the defense has shown that they can be marched on. And at the end of the day, I think the Giants will come in with a keep away game plan. They will try to get up early and try to ride momentum and avoid a letdown on the way out. And if they could get on the board first, force a turnover, maybe steal a possession, I do believe that the Giants will cover this week. I'm not foreseeing a for sure win, but I'm going to go with a prediction of a cover. My official prediction will be a cover. I got Cowboys 27. Actually, I'm capping. Come on, the Giants winning. I got Giants winning. I got the Giants jumping out to an early lead, and I got the Cowboys looking like we about to choke the lead, but we hold them off. I got Giants 27, Cowboys 23.
Yeah, Eric, I was doing some research over here, and in the last 7 games that Dak Prescott has started at home, so this is since December of 2019, the Dallas Cowboys are averaging 40 points a game at home, 40. And they are 6-1 in that scenario, with the only loss coming in the Odell Beckham Jr. Cleveland Browns game. The Giants are fine. Daniel Jones looked like he's taking some steps up. Kenny Galladay finally got involved last week. They got a decent win over New Orleans on the road. But this ain't Jameis Winston. This is pretty good. No, you're underselling. This is the best offense in the NFL, period. And the Giants won't be able to keep up. We have too many weapons all over the field. Our quarterback advantage is massive. He's playing at an MVP level. The Giants, who have struggled with their run defense, are going to have to go up against a rush offense that has ran for 200 yards in each of the last 3 football games. The game might be close early. The Giants might have a solid game plan with Jason Garrett and those guys to keep themselves in it. But the Giants struggle to run the football. They struggle in the red zone, and you can't do that against the offense like this. I will take the Cowboys to cover the 6.5. I expect us to be able to pull away late in the 4th quarter as Daniel Jones struggles to keep up with the Dallas Cowboys offense. And over under 52, I'll take the over as well.
So I actually want the under.
All right, I'll take the over.
I'm kind of in the middle between you two. I do expect Dallas to cover this game and the over to hit. I don't know about the best offense in the league, Moody, but that's wait and see. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the Giants. I don't think they're good. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of how they play and their brand. So yeah, I'm gonna take Dallas.
Just remember that. Remember that. Remember that.
Gilmore comes for you in week 7. You'll see.
Remember that.
All right, so let's move on to the prime time game. Definitely the best game on the Sunday slate. Bills taking a trip to Kansas City. Kansas City -3, over under 56.5.
Well, first I thought this is a guaranteed over. There's no chance in hell this does not hit the over. I don't think there's any way possible.
Well, we got the Bills who usually hit overs by themselves, and you got the Chiefs who usually hit overs by themselves. We
just get that out the way. Over. But as far as the
it's 56.5,
and I'm still taking the over. But outside of that, I think this is Josh Allen's moment right here. If he wants to establish himself, because right now Justin Herbert to walk into Kansas City and got to win. Mahomes is still Mahomes. If he wants to continue to stake his claim as a guy who could be the best quarterback in the AFC, this is a game he has to go win. The Chiefs defense is abysmal all over. It's not going to get any better showing up on Sunday. The Bills have an offense that can beat you in every way possible, with Josh Allen running the ball. Singletary and Zach Moss have picked it up. And then we know Diggs, Beasley, Sanders, Dawson Knox are starting to make some plays. I expect the Bills offense to be able to move up and down on them. And then the Bills defense that's been performing at a top 5 level can be able to find a couple of stops on Patrick Mahomes. And with the way Mahomes might feel like he has to play hero ball for them to win the game, and I think that could lead to a couple of turnovers as well. I'll take the Bills +3 on the road at Kansas City, and I'll take the over.
You beat me to it. You beat me to the over. Moody just wanted to tell you about that. I also believe that this is the year to get Kansas City. Their defenses looks like it's going to be one of the worst of the Mahomes era. And I just don't see
Russell Wilson getting smacked around over here, but this is looking ugly.
If they come up with a game plan to stop Josh Allen, I would be incredibly impressed by Steve Spagnuolo. I wouldn't put it past him, actually, but in this situation, I will. I expect them not to stop Buffalo, and I expect Kansas City to get the points they get because Kansas City's good for 30 points on the worst days most of the time. So I'm going to take Buffalo to win 35-31. I think Buffalo handles them, though. I think Kansas City tacks on some good scores to get back in there and make it look good. But I think Buffalo will get the job done, and Josh Allen will get his Patrick Mahomes win.
How are y'all giving the Bills defense credit for the Texans? I don't understand.
No, they played Miami. They did the same thing to Miami. They did the same thing to Miami.
Bills defensive personnel,
we said it. They have the best second. They have one of the best secondaries, maybe the best secondary in the NFL. They haven't given up an explosive completion all season long. So it's hard to throw the ball on them. But
that's also Ben Roethlisberger, Jacoby Brissett, Davis Mills, and Taylor Heineke. So it's not like they played the most explosive offenses. So I expect Kansas City to be able to move the ball.
Because it's Kansas City.
Because it's Kansas City. But I think Bills defense has a better chance of finding a couple of stops.
They might get a few stops. Mm-hmm. Kansas City defense might
not get any.
Yeah.
If Buffalo didn't punt, I wouldn't be surprised.
But I am taking Kansas City. I am taking the over. Just Patrick Mahomes, man. It's hard to bet against him too. I'll take Kansas City and the over. So let's move on to the Monday Night Football game. Colts are traveling to Baltimore. Spread is -7 for Baltimore. Over under 45.5.
And to top it off, this will be my lock of the week. Baltimore over the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts found a way to scrap and fight for a good win against Miami last week, but Baltimore is a good organization that knows how to beat inferior football teams. I don't expect the Colts to have a plan for Lamar Jackson. The Ravens are getting healthier in their receiving core. Lamar looks like he's progressed a little bit as a passer as well. And I expect them to make life a living hell for Carson Wentz on the other end. So I'll take the Ravens -7 at home, and I'll take the over.
I gotta go disagree with your lock of the week too. I think Indianapolis will cover for sure. I want to pick Indy, but it's tough. I think I will go with Indy because I think they are going to be wanting to get Baltimore back for the game they stole at Indy last year. I think we'll see one of the better games from everybody's favorite defensive playmaker, Mr. Darius Leonard. And I think Baltimore just has one of those letdown types of weeks to make up for when they beat Detroit. So I'll take Indianapolis to win a pretty, what's the over-under? 45.5. Pretty sloppy football game. I'll take Indianapolis 21, Baltimore 17. Yeah, ugly. Yeah. This is going to be a defensive slugfest.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the under. And I'm going to go Baltimore. I'm going to go Baltimore and the under here. I think
Baltimore will be able to score enough points to reach most of the over-under by themselves, and then Indianapolis can come in for the save at the end. But, yeah, I think Baltimore will be able to handle it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So, great week coming up. Obviously, every Sunday is exciting. But any exciting matchups that y'all have a favorite, but –
Eric, obviously I'm going to be in the building in Dallas at AT&T Stadium to watch Dak Prescott continue his MVP run as he leads the Cowboys to another division victory.
It's over on Sunday.
But outside of that, Bills Chiefs is obvious to talk about.
It's not a great slate.
It's not I think Packers Bengals has a chance to be a banger. That could steal the show if Joe Burrow is trying to show that he can really match a big-time player like Aaron Rodgers.
And an NFC West matchup.
But I don't think the most exciting non-Cowboys Giants game for me would be Browns Chargers. I think those are two. I think the Browns are a really, really talented football team. Their defense, they have finally put together a really solid defense.
Two title contenders for sure.
And the Chargers got Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams. They're going to be able to move the ball and make plays. I expect Justin Herbert to have a great, fun matchup. The Chargers defense is also really good as well. So I think that'll be the most exciting non-biased game on the slate.
Come on. Buffalo's Kansas City. Buffalo, Kansas City.
That was obvious.
That's it. That's why. That's it. That's like the quarterbacks of this generation going at it. That might be the quarterback rivalry of this generation. So enjoy that. Probably a highlight film of itself of the game. But I think that's it. Enjoy football. Catch y'all next. Oh, any bold predictions?
Bold predictions: Josh Allen throws 6 touchdowns.
Jeez.
That's bold. But I kind of see. I could see that. I actually expect to see a giant game from him this week. Eric.
Trey Lance establishes he was the best quarterback in the draft.
That'll help my San Francisco pick. So,
come on. Daniel Jones walks into Dallas and takes control of that building. That's our building. We run that building. But big game from Daniel Jones, backs it up. Maybe a second Offensive Player of the Week award coming his way. All right, Eric.
All right, man. We'll see y'all.